How many times when you were younger did your parents or an elder of yours try to give you some good, solid advice and you rejected it? Not because you thought that, you knew better, probably because of that too, but just because of the simple fact that you thought that they were old and they didn't know what they were talking about. Maybe I'm the only one, but when I was a kid and my grandpa and my dad used to try to tell me stuff, I used to think in my head, like, they don't know what they're talking about. They've never been 15. They've never been 12. They've never been 10. Oh, woe is me. My life is so hard, and wisdom comes from experience, going through a trial, going through something hard and coming out on the other side of it, learning a lesson from that, and then being able to implement strategies to never have to go through that hard thing again, at least by your own doing. That's what we see in the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs is chock full of wisdom, and the book is read as if wisdom was a person talking to us. And we see that all throughout the book, the person is trying to give us little gems and little nuggets, but there's people that reject these gems and then reject these nuggets. That's how it was when I was a kid. I wouldn't listen to anything that anyone tried to tell me. This didn't mean that I misbehaved all the time. I would behave, but I would think in my head like, this is stupid. They don't know what they're talking about. And that's how it was in my walk. The first 17 years of my life, I went to church. I sat in the front row. I went to a Methodist church, so I was an acolyte, me and my twin brother. We lit the candles before church. We put them out after church. I went to every vacation Bible study that we had. I went to Sunday school every morning. Me and my brother were the only ones in our class. That's how much I was in the church. But it just goes to show you that my grandpa's faith in the Lord didn't reflect my faith in the Lord. And just because you go to church and have a family member or a dad that may be a pastor doesn't mean you believe in Jesus the way that he does, or that your family does, or that other church members do. We have to take our walk with Jesus personally. It's an individual walk. Yes, we are a body of believers, but my faith isn't your faith. Just because you watch Marcus's videos doesn't mean you believe like Marcus does, right? Does that make sense? And so we see right here in Proverbs chapter 1, verse 24, because I have called and you refuse to listen, have stretched out my hand and no one has heeded, because you have ignored all my counsel and would have none of my reproof. I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when terror strikes you. When terror strikes you like a storm and your calamity comes like a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you, then they will call upon me, but I will not answer. They will seek they will seek me diligently, but will not find me, because they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. It is a very serious thing to call on somebody in a time of need, and you desperately need that person to be there for you, and they don't come. Have you ever had an emergency and you get on your phone and you call everyone you know and no one answers? Now you have to deal with this nightmare all on your own. It's scary, isn't it? And that's what it will be like if we reject to take wisdom and listen to it and learn from it, right? We'll be going on along and things will happen, and then we won't have anything built up. We won't have the knowledge to know how to handle it. Then we're going to be like, hey, where's my knowledge at? Where's my wisdom at? Where's what were those wise words my grandpa told me? How do I handle this? What did my dad say about that? And it's going to be like that, and we won't be able to find the answers because we will have rejected it. And so not everyone goes through life rejecting wisdom. A lot of people are smart enough to see, hey, this dude's been through something. Let me listen to him when he's trying to tell it to me. Let me not be prideful and puffed up and arrogant because I know the Bible, because I've read it in and out. Let me not think that I know everything. So when my pastor tries to tell me something, or a man of God tries to offer me correction, I accept what they're trying to tell me instead of being like, oh, you can't tell me nothing. We see that a lot. We see people that are prideful, arrogant, because they read the Bible once a year, every year. I don't read the Bible once a year, every year. I've read the Bible from beginning to end and didn't retain very much of it just because I was trying to achieve a goal. Now that I read little segments of the Bible like I do, I can retain much more of the word. And that's the power of Bible study too. And speaking of Bible study, guys, in the Patreon, we're getting ready to start a whole year of doing this discipleship. If you would like to join us and the members of the Patreon in doing a weekly Bible study, doing this journal, this thing will get you deeper with your walk with Christ. You can join the Patreon, and we do that every Friday night at 7 p.m. Central. But wisdom comes from the Word. Wisdom comes from talking to God. Wisdom comes from your prayer time with the Lord, because you pray to Him and He answers, right? Let the Lord be your guide. Let biblical thinking adults be your guide. If you are further along on your walk than someone, share those gems of wisdom with someone. That's why the power of the testimony is so amazing, because when you share your testimony, that's chock full of wisdom. Hey, this is what I did. Don't do it. This is how it turned out for me. Don't live that. You don't have to make the same mistakes that I made. You can just choose to serve the Lord and do it the right way from the beginning. If I would have seen the things that I was going to go through in my life, I would have abandoned ship a long time ago. But I didn't see them, so I had to walk through them. But I can do the best that I can with the power of the testimony God has given me to lead other people down a different path. They don't have to go down the same path that I have. If I go to these men's prisons like I do, I've only gone once this year, and I need to do better at it. But I go back to the prison where I got saved at, and I tell the men there in the chapel the same thing that was told to me. I go there and I share my story with those men, because that's where I got saved. And I know that if the Lord could save me there, He could save them there. This is the power of sharing your wisdom with others. And am I some wise sage? No. I've got a long way to go, guys. I've only been diligently walking with the Lord for 3 years. I've got a very, very long way to go. Even though I've been saved since 2017, I haven't been walking with the Lord like I should have my whole time. And I wish that I could go back and take it seriously from day one. But that time is lost. All I can do now is move forward with my best foot forward, focused on Christ, focused on being Christ-like, focused on having a kingdom mindset. And so if you are walking with the Lord and you have good fruit, but you also have good testimony, or you have a lot of wisdom to share with others, don't keep that to yourself. That's something that someone needs to hear. That knowledge, that wisdom that you have, that's something that you can offer reproof to your brothers and sisters with. The Bible says that for the simple are killed by their turning away, and the complacency of fools destroy them. But whoever listens to me will dwell secure and will be at ease, without dread of disaster. I say this all the time. It doesn't mean that we're going to have an easy life just because we give our life to the Lord. But imagine the wisdom that comes from reading the Bible inside out. So you start to see things for what they truly are. And if you don't have discernment in today's world, you will be led astray. There are so many wolves in sheep's clothing out there trying to trick you, trying to steal you. The devil wants to steal your faith. He wants to steal your joy. He wants to kill your passion for the Lord. Don't let him. Stay in the Word. Listen to people that are wiser than you, that care for you, and want to lead you up in the ways of the Lord to be a Christ-like minded person. That's going to do it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, God bless.